It all started with a snail and garlic, but more on that in a moment, so let's set the scene first. 2 years have passed in Stardew Valley, and I've worked my virtual hands to the bone. I've fixed the community center that nobody uses, gone through thousands of levels in the Skull Cavern, and mostly ignored all potential spouses because I'm not about that life. Have you ever wondered what else is out there? How could I make my 3rd year in Stardew something special? Most importantly, why does Gus have to be the top chef in town? For the next 4 seasons, I'm dedicating myself to the kitchen life. I won't sell a single thing unless it's cooked in my kitchen. If something can't be made into a dish, it's going in the trash. I'm Brandigan, and this is my journey to become top chef of Stardew Valley. Before this quest even began, I had to make some preparations. Every Sunday, I stood suspiciously close to the TV to watch my favorite cooking channel, The Queen of the Sauce. I learned 32 new recipes over 2 years, but that didn't fill out my cookbook. I also needed to befriend many of the townsfolk. On screen are the amount of hearts needed for every villager to send you their best recipes in the mail. With that grinding out of the way, I was now ready to make my first dish, escargot. But wait, why escargot? Well, to be a master chef, you must look like a master chef. I ran over to Emily's house because she has exactly what I need, a sewing machine. Combining the escargot with some cloth produced the traditional uniform of a head chef, the chef coat. I won't be able to get the coveted chef's hat until I cook every recipe I know, so let's start with what I'm working with. In my greenhouse, I have corn and blue jazz flowers already planted, as well as some apples and apricot trees. I'll switch things up in the greenhouse a couple times over the next year and try to make most of the space. After 9 a.m., I head over to Pierre's for my first of 3 visits to get the seasonal seeds I need. I have 192 farmable tiles ready to go, so I start buying the crops I need. This isn't exact science, but I divide 192 by the total amount of crops needed, which means I can plant 14 for every crop. Since I need 2 parsnips, I double the 14 to 28 and then multiply that by how many harvests I can get, which totals 196 parsnips. There's also some fish I need in spring as well as forageables. The only other thing I'll need to buy from Pierre other than seasonal seeds is vinegar, because that's one ingredient I can't make on my own. Weird. I swing by the oasis in the desert because I need rhubarb, and now I'm all set to grow my spring ingredients. My crop setup includes a Junimo hut for help with harvesting, but they may end up being more of a nuisance than anything. Whatever, they're cute so they stay. For now. One thing I didn't optimize for the chef life were my profession skills, so I'll need to take care of that. I should probably change my artisan profession to agriculturalist so things grow more quickly, but I definitely need lore master profession so that I don't have to bait my crab pots. I'll be checking my mushroom cave every couple days throughout the year to stock up on common mushrooms and morels. I make a quick visit to the Statue of Uncertainty to respec my professions, and then it's time to get some crab pots. I probably could have made the pots myself, but what's the point of having so much gold if I don't spend it? Plus, if you're familiar with cooking profitability in this game, well, let's just say I'm not expecting large returns. I do it for the thrill of cooking, right? Anyway, there's some miscellaneous ingredients other than what's caught from the crab pots that I'll need to cover over the next year. Whenever I get the chance, I'll take time to fish out whatever seasonal fish I need, tend to my farm animals for eggs and milk, and fish out of my 3 fish ponds that are stocked with sea cucumbers, rainbow trout, and eels. I was surprised to find out that I don't need truffles from pigs for anything, but not very surprised that my dinosaur eggs were also useless in the kitchen. I pick back up on the 6th because it's a Saturday and the best time to search for forageables before they reset overnight. I take some time to run down to the mines because red slimes drop white algae that I need, and green slimes drop green algae, but I quickly realized there was a better way to farm these items. Fishing in the sewer will net a ton of algae I need, but first I find quite the surprise. I completely forgot about the legendary fish in the sewers. I'm a bit embarrassed by how long it takes to catch him, but eventually the mutant carp is out of my way. I pick things back up on the 8th, and Junimos are taking care of things, but these little guys are going to be trouble if they pick something and I forget to replant on the same day. Looks like I'll have to relocate them for the rest of the year. I covered all of my spring activities and continued to rinse and repeat until summer. On the 1st of summer, I have more mini fridges in my house to store ingredients, and the Junimos are now tucked away from the crops. Back at the greenhouse, I've replaced the blue jazz flowers with hot peppers. I make my second trip to Pierre's for summer seeds. There's only one forageable I need, and that's the fiddlehead fern from the secret woods. I can also spend some time fishing for more flounder or finding sunfish and tuna. Fast forward to the 14th of summer. My crops are looking good, but I need to spend some time farming for one of the more difficult ingredients on my miscellaneous list, Squid Ink. Luckily, there's a 20% chance for it to drop from squid kids between levels 80 and 120 in the mines. They're a little rare, so it may take some time. I check in on my recipe list, and things are starting to fill out quite nicely. The 20th looks like a beautiful day for slaying slimes and collecting fiddlehead ferns. By the 28th, my recipe list looks to be about 50% complete. I finished up the last bit of farming for summer, and now I'm ready to knock out the last busy month of this run. We pick back up on the 1st of fall at the river, just doing some casual fishing for salmon before the shops open at 9 AM. I refuse to buy sugar from that swindler Pierre and his wildly marked up prices, so I'm going to buy beets from Sandy and then process them at my mills for the sugar I need. In hindsight, I should have done more research. You see, I just assumed one beet creates one sugar. Turns out, I'm an idiot and it produces 3 sugar. I know I'll need a lot of sugar, but I went way overboard with how many beets I bought that day. Oh well. C'est la vie. We have more of the same over at Pierre's this season. I'll need to find some time for more fishing and foraging too, but that shouldn't be a problem. If you can't tell, I'm just trying to get as much of every ingredient as I can and then wing it at the end. I'll probably collect less of some key ingredient, and I'm sure this could be optimized, but you know, it's not about the money. It's like my favorite Disney Channel original movie Brink, but for cooking.
We skate for fun. We're soul skaters.
I start getting my seeds in the ground like the last 2 seasons and convert my greenhouse into a beet farm. I still have a full season for more wheat since it grows in both summer and fall, but I'll need a lot of it because there are a ton of recipes that require wheat flour. There are a few places to fish out midnight carp, and I opted for my favorite spot by the mountain lake. Fast forward to the 7th of fall, and some of my crops are ready for harvest. My recipe list is looking pretty full at this point. By the 28th, my recipe list is nearly complete. There's just 2 more things I need: squid for fried calamari and winter root for the roots platter. Squid can be found in the ocean after 6 PM and can be a little tricky to catch in the ocean, but level 10 fishing makes it a lot easier. I can finish this month out by digging out artifact spots for winter roots, fishing for more squid, and crafting winter seeds when I have extra forageables in hopes of more winter roots. I've chosen the 27th of winter as my cooking day. With so many recipes ready to knock out, I think Guy Fieri would be proud. I have all of my ingredients collected and placed into my fridges. Now it's time to spice things up. I have some chests set up in the kitchen to handle the absurd number of dishes I'll be making. Now, let's get to it. First things first, I want to make one of every single dish to make sure I complete the Gourmet Chef achievement. Cooking every dish turns out to be quite the hassle, but my planning over the seasons worked out and the chef hat is almost mine. I could spend hours figuring out which dishes are most profitable and how much I have of each ingredient to optimize this last part, but I've already spent way too much time on this. I'll dub this method the cook and pray. I'll start knocking out as many dishes as possible and hope I don't have too many ingredients left over.
2 hours later.
After a ton of clicking through the recipe menu, I have nothing left to cook. Now I just need to make a few trips to the shipping bin before I can tally all of this haul up. How much do you think this is all worth? Put your guesses in the comment section below. Only if you feel like it. There's a channel I love to watch from Madrybread who always says comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Cool channel if you like watching Pokemon challenges. Anyway, I'm just filling the silence at this point if you can't already tell. Before I go to sleep, there's one more thing I need to do. Time to visit the Hat Mouse. With every recipe cooked, I can now purchase the final piece of my top chef attire. I only hope I made Chef Gordon Ramsay proud with this one.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Now it's time to see how well this idea worked out. Wait, I can't sleep in my chef hat. It means too much to me. The final damage is a whopping 512,000. Well, I did it. Yay? There's some good money in a few of these recipes, but the inevitable truth I already knew is evident. You're much better off selling most ingredients or making them into something more profitable. Cooking in Stardew Valley is just, well, meh. This was a long one and I hope you enjoyed. Like the video, consider subscribing, look out for new content very soon, and thanks for watching.